Hello, my friend. My name is Terry Petrovick, and welcome to Straight Talk on the Home Business Radio Network. This is Positive Powered Radio. I'm honored and absolutely humbled to have our special guest on our show today. I believe his impact on the world of human achievement, success, and happiness parallels that of Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie, and Jim Rohn. Our guest has already impacted millions of people around the world with his simple message of making people better with simple daily disciplines. He's developed several multi-million-dollar sales organizations, so he really gets where you are in your business and what it takes to become successful in the home-based business profession. He's developed over 900 television programs centered around personal development. He's the co-founder of Nerium International, the fastest-growing direct sales company ever. He is the owner of the new blockbuster magazine called Live Happy. He's the author of the best-selling book called The Slight Edge, which is our topic for our show today. Our guest today is Jeff Olson. Jeff, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Terry, thanks for having me.
Well, Jeff, let's just dive right in here. Talk about the Slight Edge philosophy, how you came up with it, and how it works.
It was really interesting. I've always been a person who believed in, that you build businesses by building people. And because of that, I was involved in personal development very heavily, and it was very interesting. I started a TV network around personal development, produced, like you said earlier, about 900 shows around family, finance, health, relationships, that type of thing. And this is kind of where it seeded itself. What happened there was because of I was at one time kind of sitting in the mecca of personal development, knew all the New York Times best lecture authors, all the great people out there who had all this amazing content. And we'd produce their information. And when I was doing that, I observed one thing, that all of them would get people to use their information through a philosophy of quantum leap, which in essence, if you get my book or my tape or my seminars, you're going to fix your health, your relationships, your finances, whatever it might be, in 90, 120, 150 days. And I thought that was good at first because it got people to get the information. And that, to me, made sense. But then I observed something later on as people evolved with information. They would not get the quantum leap that they were hoping to get in 9 out of 10 times. And two things would happen. Number one, they would lose belief in the information, which was bad because the information was perfect. But they'd also start losing belief in themselves because they start saying, maybe I just wasn't meant this to happen for me. And I started seeing how really the information, although it was right, the philosophy of the information was hurting people. And so really the Slight Edge is the anti-quantum leap book. That's all it really is. It's a book that it says that, the information works, but it's not the information. It's what you do with the information. It's not the hows. It's how you do the hows. And that's what this is. It's a how-to book to make the hows work. And what you'll find is just basically, if I just summarize it up real quickly, the Slight Edge is all about doing the little things that seem to make no difference at all and act doing them, just do them over and over and over until the compound effect kicks in. And what's so neat about this book, there's hundreds and hundreds of stories of people, just like the people listening right now, probably very similar to you, who, for example, one lady had never could lose weight. She'd done every health situation there was out there, every book, every program. She read the Slight Edge, and there was nothing in there about health, but she lost 100 pounds in the next half a year.
Oh.
What happened was not the hows. She changed her how to do the hows. And there's tons of stories in there about families or relationships or finances like that. And it's just people finally realized that it wasn't how the hows were getting in the ways, it was how they're doing them. That's what the Slight Edge is all about. It's just doing the simple disciplines consistently over time.
I love the fact, and I have to tell you, I've been a student of yours since 2005 when you first came out with that first edition, and now we're on the 8th edition. But the graph that you put together, in terms of easy to do, easy not to do, and what it takes to do those little baby steps consistently over a long period of time, I think people sometimes need to be reminded of doing those little things every day. What kind of suggestions you have, Jeff, for people who think they're doing the right steps every day, seem to be hitting a wall and they're struggling? Talk a little bit more maybe about how you do the hows, or what's that strategy that you have to help these people?
Well, I'll give you a good analogy, because in this analogy, one thing I always ask people to do is read 10 pages of a good book a day. That's something that's easy to do, and it's also easy not to do. Okay, so and the difference between the two is insignificant. What I mean by that is if you read 10 pages of a good book a day, for a year, that's 3,650 pages. That's 12 good books. That's going to change your philosophies and attitudes, which in essence is going to change how you do the hows. But here's where the slight edge comes in. See, if I read 10 pages of a good book today, am I successful? No, I'm not. If I don't read 10 pages of a good book today, do I fail? No, I don't. See, the difference between doing it and not doing it is so subtle, so insignificant, you can't even notice it. And that's where the sucker net comes in, because you think it doesn't matter when it matters so much. See, you only build your future in the moment, and the moment is little things. It's not big things. And what people do is they're always looking for this, quantum leap thing, these grandiose things that get them to what they want in the future. The way you get to the future is through a bunch of little things that you do in the moment that are insignificant in the moment, but a compounded effect them over time makes them significant. And really, if you look at life, there is a natural harmony. You plant seeds, you cultivate, and you harvest. You don't plant seeds and then harvest. And what we've forgot how to do in this microwave, quantum leap media society is cultivate. And there's a natural process. And what you have to realize is the things you do to be successful, in the moment you're doing them, they're insignificant. The difference between doing them and not doing them really doesn't matter. They're easy to do. They're easy not to do. If you don't do them, it really doesn't matter. But the compounded effect of doing them, that simple discipline was that simple error in judgment. And again, that's what the book's all about, just tons of strategies and ideas and concepts and stories of people who bought into this and started realizing, because what really this does is it empowers you. Start going, maybe I don't need to be able to do big things. I don't have to have all these smarts. I just got to be more consistent in doing the little things that are easy to do, and I can achieve the big things that I want.
That's awesome. Now, I noticed in this latest book that you have, you've added a whole chapter, in fact, with happiness. Talk a little bit about how happiness ties into success and people achieving their ultimate goals and the life that they want.
Well, it's really interesting. Happiness came out of positive psychology. It was actually only birthed 20 years ago out of the academias around the world, the greatest universities like UPenn, Harvard. And what they found in happiness is something that is the precursor to success, that everybody else has it backwards. When I have my finances, I'll be happy. My relationships, I'll be happy. My health, I'll be happy. Proven through clinicals, brain scans, all this scientific research is that it's exactly reverse. When you become happy, your finances get better, your health gets better, your relationships gets better. But here's the neat thing. They also have found that happiness is easy. It's accessible to the average person. So a lot of times personal development can feel heavy, reading the books and doing the study. And going from not being happy to happy is very easy. It's literally 5 minutes a day, these little exercises. You change the way your brain is wired, the neurons in the brain, so they fire. You can take a grumpy person, been 80 years old and been grumpy their whole life. They can be happy within 30 days. So it's, number one, it's a precursor. Number two, it's easy to access. And number three is that happiness is not about something big. Again, quantum leap, not about something big that happens to you. It's about a lot of little things you do. Again, the slight edge, doing the little things that seem to make no difference at all in that. Do them over and over and over versus a quantum leap, thinking something big's going to happen to you. So really, this happiness that's coming out of academia is so much like the slight edges in personal development. It's the precursor to success. It's very accessible to people, and it's not about big things that happen in your life. It's about little things that you do. And so I've become very enthused by it. I've gone out and met all the great academians from the great universities around the world. Just sponsored the first Positive Psychologist Summit for Education at Wellington University in London. We brought in the top 26 positive psychologists around the world to talk about this. And then we just launched a magazine called Live Happy around it, because I just really think it's the new age, next version of personal development, quite honestly.
I love the whole Live Happy magazine. I love the philosophy of the slight edge, and it's interesting is you, the listener, are trying to absorb all this. It really is very, very, very attractive, and I think you've mentioned it, Jeff, is that when you talk about happiness as opposed to personal development, the whole happiness thing really is received much better. And it just, if we can just do those little things, talk to 2 people a day, read 10 pages of a good book. It's staying in the game, doing those simple things over and over and over again that will allow us to be successful. But I know some people, Jeff, who have implemented or tried to implement the slight edge, and they get hung up a little bit. If somebody kind of falls down, how can the slight edge pick them back up and get them back on track?
Well, generally speaking, when I talk to people, they've done the proper activities over a period of time. They didn't do them over a long enough period of time. And you understand it's different for every person because we all come to the starting line a little bit different. We are different, philosophies. Like Mr. Franklin, I think, said if I have 4 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 3 hours sharpening my axe, 1 hour chopping down the tree. What most people don't do is they don't spend enough time sharpening their axe. They got to work on how to do the hows. And so what I ask people to do is, can you do it consistently long enough? In the direct sales industry, which I spend a lot of time in, I've always been an anti-quantum leap person when I talk about the business. I always tell people it takes about 90 days to figure out what you got into. It takes about a year to figure out how to do it. It takes about 2 years to get actually good at it. That's actually the opposite of what most people tell people. And what you understand, it's no different than any other business. You have to put in the time to have the success. So what I'm trying to get with the slide edge is to get people to understand there is a natural process, and you shouldn't be expecting big results at first. If you get big results at first, you're either fortunate or you're something that's maybe not legitimate, quite honestly. There is, again, I keep on saying it's a natural harmony. So a user I found out, quite honestly, is that they just have not done the little things consistently, persistently over a long enough period of time. And it's not just about doing it over a long enough period of time. You got to do them with a good attitude over a long enough period of time, because you're just the little things that seem to make no difference all over a long period of time, but you don't do it with a good attitude. That doesn't do anything, and that's where happiness comes in. Because happiness it's an attitude. So when you do the little things that seem to make no difference at all in actually doing, but you do them happily over a long period of time, then you start getting the results.
That's amazing. As we wrap up, I know we've got a lot of parents, grandparents listening in on us. Does the Slide Edge apply for children?
Well, one of the neatest things that they did is took the Slide Edge and partnered with Success Magazine and for Success for Teens the Slide Edge Way. And through that foundation, Success, along with myself, we've given away over 2.5 million books to teenagers and then thousands of school systems around North America. And you won't believe the letters coming back from teenagers that when they got a philosophy, because teenagers are the same thing. They're just like an adult. They're searching. They're looking. And when everything is so big out there, seems so far away, it scares them. We tell them it's just as simple as little decisions you make today. You empower them. And they become excited. They start realizing, hey, maybe I can be somebody. I'm not doomed to not be anybody. And you won't believe all these teenagers have been powered by these clubs and teenagers that come around because of the Slide Edge.
I absolutely love it. Jeff, we're about out of time. How can somebody purchase the book, and how can they connect with you?
Well, the best way is to go to slideedge.org. That's for the book, because then you can go off that to Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And there you can join the Slide Edge. SlideEdge.org, and it'll show you how to go to Facebook and get into the Twitter. So really just one-stop shopping, SlideEdge.org will get you to everything you need. Awesome.
Jeff, I want to thank you so much for being that beacon of integrity, of leadership, and totally making a difference. So my friend listening, go to SlideEdge.org, go to Facebook, and you can go to facebook.com/YourSlideEdge. Connect with the community there. Engage, the big thing. Print the little chart out. I'll make it available on my blog, and if you want to connect with me, you can go to happiness2success.com. Understand this. It is those little things that you do consistently over a long period of time that will take you up the success curve or will take you down the failure curve. And it's true for building your business. It's true for finances. It's true for health, personal development, and all your relationships. And if you haven't checked out the Live Happy magazine, be sure you pick it up at Barnes & Noble or any of your major newsstands. And this has been Straight Talk on the Home Business Radio Network. Until next time, remember this. We're in this together, my friend. If you need to connect with me, just go to happiness2success.com. Make it a better than terrific day and a prosperous one, because you absolutely deserve it. Bye-bye for now.